What a lot of people aren't seeing is the bigger picture of how AI is really going to be placed into automotive.
That means dealerships no longer have to wait for customers to call. AI knows when the customer will need service.
So now that all of this type of technology is now going to be placed inside of your vehicles, right now, dealers mainly think AI is just about chatbots, ChatGPT, quick answer and question or question and answer, and a lot of like conversational AI, a lot of CRM integrations. What a lot of people aren't seeing is the bigger picture of how AI is really going to be placed into automotive. We talk about that on a lot of our episodes, but today we're going to talk about a big movement that mainly IBM is focusing on, which is Edge AI. And also, we're going to talk about RAG. And before we talk about these complex terms, let's quickly chat about what that actually means in super simplistic language. So, Edge AI, starting with that, is essentially the AI inside the hardware of the Internet of Things. So, really simple example, let's take your doorbell, your Ring doorbell. Does it's able to identify things that are happening. It can identify a dog versus a human, a stranger versus a known face. Well, that doesn't go up to the cloud every single time. Most of the time now we think about AI about internet connection and pinging some massive server and then coming back with an answer. Well, if you're in your vehicle, you can't really rely on that level of connectivity. So, Edge AI is essentially AI that's more on a local device. Now, taking that a step further, there is RAG. RAG is commonly used when people are building like a local LLM inside of their computer, where they don't want to use OpenAI or any other public AI. They want to use a common one is called Llama. Llama AI would actually be a local LLM that's stored locally on your computer, and then that becomes your RAG system. Another example of that is like custom GPTs, where you can actually program your GPT to do certain things based on a knowledge base. And I think a simple understanding of this could be you could tell ChatGPT to just go find a great crockpot recipe, and it's going to search the whole web and try to find a great crockpot recipe. Or you can give it your grandma's recipe book and say, hey, I just want the best crockpot recipe out of this. And that is RAG. That recipe book is RAG. So now that all of this type of technology is now going to be placed inside of your vehicles, what does that mean for the future of automotive and how consumers are going to have vehicles and or what they're going to expect from their vehicles and how dealers will have to sell vehicles now?
Yeah, so when you combine Edge AI and RAG, the conversation gets even bigger than the dealership. It starts to involve the vehicle itself. Modern vehicles today are already generating massive amounts of data. They know when service is needed. They know how the vehicle is being driven. They know fault codes before the driver even notices an issue. They know mileage patterns, wear patterns, and ownership timelines. So that data doesn't just sit there, it can feed AI systems. That means dealerships no longer have to wait for customers to call. The AI knows when the customer will need service. It knows when a warranty is expiring. It knows when a customer is approaching ideal trade-in timing. Instead of reacting, dealerships can act proactively. And because that AI is connected directly to dealership systems through technologies like RAG, it knows the inventory, it knows the service availability, it knows the pricing. So now the dealership isn't guessing.
Yeah, it's wild to see that the vehicle is becoming AI. So
Yeah.
what that means is the vehicle's going to be more than just the thing that gets you from place to place. It's actually going to be a tool for productivity potentially because not only does it get you more connected into all the things that you just listed, but how much of it can be that personal assistant. I know right now already, if I have a 1 hour drive, I know what my brainstorming topics are, and I'm opening up the voice feature inside of ChatGPT and just having a good conversation with it. And by the time I'm at my place, I'm fully prepared for whatever meeting that is, or just some other topic that I need to plan for and execute later. Now, what if it is your vehicle and your vehicle actually starts to understand your life? I also kind of think about like when you buy an iPhone and you say, okay, well, I have this iPhone. Now I need to transfer all my knowledge to the next iPhone and all my files to the next iPhone. Well, that will that be what it's like for vehicles eventually, where you're like, oh, I have a Mercedes and that AI knows me and it knows where I go, it knows my routine. Does that transfer over to BMW? Maybe not. Does it keep like this captive audience a little bit more and keep people more loyal inside of the vehicles?
Yeah, I think the dealership is the one that kinda owns that data, I think, I'm not sure. Um, but I think it would be a good idea for the customer or the owner of that vehicle to have some sort of access to certain elements that it's already programmed into the previous vehicle that can carry over to the new one. I see the benefits of that. Having to like retrain the new vehicle all over again to understand who I am as a person and what I'm doing. Seems like that would be kind of an annoyance. But it'd be interesting to see kind of like where all that goes.
Yeah, I think it's also crazy from all the marketing techs out there and thinking about what this means. This could open up another data set. So right now we go into something like Google or Facebook advertising and we say, let's pull all of their mobile app data, let's pull their voice data, let's pull anything that's aggregated. Typically, all data is really sold to Oracle. And then Oracle takes all of that data and then pushes it to all these different advertising platforms and makes predictive thought processes like we're familiar with auto intender audiences. So an auto intender audience just means that they've shown some sort of behavior in their life, whether it be the voice from your phone, or it could just be them going to Car Gurus and Auto Trader and starting or searching, automotive reviews and those types of things. Well, now what happens when we have all of the data from your vehicle, and will that get sold or will it stay local? So Edge AI and RAG means somewhat that it is a local AI, but what that doesn't mean is that can't it can still be pushed up to the cloud. AI is dependent on your behaviors and your interactions with AI to get pushed up to the cloud, and that's what creates the next version. Is AI is developing AI now, and it's your user behavior that's actually saying, "Oh, this is the additional knowledge that we have, and this is how our RAG is actually becoming stronger and stronger and stronger." Um, I think that OpenAI even just recently said that ChatGPT 6 is developing itself now. And so
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5 and the interactions we're having today is what's actually just autonomously building ChatGPT 6. And so these models will just constantly get released.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts about bringing AI into vehicles, what that means for what consumers are actually going to look for in vehicles nowadays, and then also how this is going to really shift dealers from selling these vehicles to essentially what's going to turn into software and hardware, and like you're going to start working in an Apple store
Yeah.
soon. So exciting stuff. Well, tune in. We actually just launched our Facebook group called AI and Automotive. If you want to tune in to these types of conversations, all of our videos are going to go in there. I'd imagine great conversations will stem from those. Great conversations hopefully will continue to happen inside of the YouTube comments. But please like, subscribe, push that bell notification so you get alerted anytime we come out with new shows. And we'll hope to just bring as much value to you guys as possible. We'll talk to y'all later.